Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to start this by saying, of course, thank you for being my patrons. You guys are fucking amazing. It's awesome to have this support to help me get things done in the filming department. Right now, I guess I'm just going to start off with kind of a little brief update on what's been going on as far as filming projects, what's coming up next week, and then I'm going to go through this past week's video, which is the Shotgun This Beer video, and do a little commentary on it. Give you some behind the scenes shit, because it was kind of an interesting one. I thought it was gonna be a flop. I thought it was gonna be a real turkey of a video. I thought about titling it my worst video ever, actually, and just kind of disowning it before people even reacted. So I'll get into that a little bit. But first, just real quickly, a brief update. First of all, I'm quite hungover. This Thursday, we went out and filmed the Thanksgiving video, which I'm really stoked on. Inla Niggy was there. Ken, of course, from the Making Girls Chew Tobacco video, made an appearance. A lot of people were clamoring for that. He was the young Asian man that I met randomly on a pier in Venice and then talked into putting 5 packets of chewing tobacco in his mouth. He was super down with the operation. He loved it. And people just really appreciated his easygoing demeanor. They demanded to see more of the Ken. So I'm trying to adjust this mic here. So we went out with him. It wasn't that creative of a video. Other than being out on Thanksgiving, it wasn't anything that special. We got shit-faced in a park and went around door to door knocking on houses. The idea being to invade these houses. I gave it some thought to make it a kind of like similar to my ruining my high school reunion video, but make it ruining people's Thanksgiving dinners. I didn't quite have it in me to do that. These people were very nice to us who let us in. I couldn't stand up and start accusing them of sucking cock or blackout and call them fat or whatever I did in that other video. So none of that, but the footage is really awesome. I was in a blackout, but luckily cameras were rolling the whole time. Many home invasions, many places we went in and just started eating and taking shots. I felt a girl's boobs. I ate shit into a bush. I huffed some paint from what I saw. Just a real grab bag of good comedic stuff. But then last night also I went out drinking as well. And this explains my hangover right now and why I've been putting this off all day. I went out actually, I usually never go out 2 days in a row anymore. My body can't handle that stress. 29, I'm getting up there. And I just couldn't say no to this one though. A YouTuber who I actually kind of admire, who's involved with some pretty big projects that I think are good. He knows one of my best friends, and the two of them were going out in Los Angeles last night. I kind of saw it as a little networking opportunity here, which is why I moved down to LA originally. The networking thing has kind of gone away as I've become really disillusioned with the YouTube community and just how unfunny and shitty everybody is. But this guy's legitimate. I don't want to say who he is because I don't want a bunch of people messaging him and relaying what I just said. But he was kind of a disappointment, to be honest. I went out. I didn't want to come on too strong with a YouTube thing. Like, hey, I YouTube, you YouTube. You want to put me on your channel so I can get more exposure? I didn't come on into that angle. But I was obviously going out trying to be funny, trying to make jokes. I was asking him a lot about his comedy. The dude was just pretty aloof, though. There was a group of about 5 or 6 people drinking in a little lounge. And he just had his head down on his phone the whole time, presumably chasing after tits and ass. And it was kind of disappointing, to be honest. All the other people there were super cool, and he was just too, on too high of a status level to be bothered by the happenings of that night. And I think it's just maybe a YouTuber thing. These young kids get money and status, and they think they're too cool to have to interact with people. I feel like if I went out to dinner with a group of friends at Dave Chappelle or Joe Rogan or Louis C.K., those comedians would still be joking and making people laugh and interacting with the people around them. Whereas this guy, I don't think he cracked one joke, at least not in my presence, all night, just had his head down. And so, needless to say, we won't be working together anytime soon. But I still paid for it, as far as a headache and a lot of expensive drinks nonetheless. So we brought a girl back home too. My buddy Adam and I, we brought a girl back. And I think we were thinking we were going to tag team her or something. He was blacked out. He pulled his dick out. She was a little alarmed and she fled. And I make it sound like he flashed her. She was being cool. It wasn't like a creepy. Well, it was a little creepy, but she just I think she was a little too sober for a drunk guy to be flapping his dick around in the kitchen. So yeah, I didn't get laid either. But let's get into this. We're going to pull up, or I'm going to pull up this week's video, and I'm going to commentate on it, fill you guys in on how it went down. 1 second. I forgot my headphones, a complete amateur move. So before we get into this, I said earlier that I was gonna disown this video, that I was very unhappy with it. The reason being is the filmer I had for this, he's one of the most professional filmers I've had. He's really good about having a steady hand, about zooming in when he should zoom in, about toggling back and forth. He was sober, which is very rare. Usually I have drunk-ass fan Jerry or somebody like Ken who filmed this Thursday. You're gonna see a lot of the shots are gonna be horrendous, but the video's still gonna be funny. The problem with this, having this guy who is really technical, he's a total introvert, didn't utter more than probably 20 words the entire afternoon. And what's more, he was real freaked out by a couple of these situations that you're gonna see, and he was encouraging me to back off, to leave these people alone, which is, I mean, you could say at odds with my sense of humor and my comedy. And I also didn't really like going out alone without any kind of companions. I like to be able to play off somebody, to have some interplay, so it's not just me talking the whole time. But yeah, let's just let this thing roll here. So this, a nice classic interaction right out the start. This is one of the strong points. I believe the two strongest points of this video were this lady right here and then the kid in the blue tracksuit at the end of the video. Those are my two favorites. I don't know what her deal is. I don't know if she has asthma or she's a chronic smoker, if she got her voice box removed. She couldn't talk. People commented and said, hey, Danny, what if this lady was a recovering alcoholic and you just knocked her off the wagon? I think there's probably a 50% chance that that's actually true and that I did knock her off the wagon. And I don't want to be racist here. I don't want to be assuming she's a former alcoholic just because she looks Native American. But she does look Native American, and because of that, I think there's a good chance she's a recovering alcoholic.
Kelly, I'm Danny. Hey, high five for names ending in Y. Yeah, you're a dark.
Yeah.
So you have some real value here at this garage sale, too. I might have to browse after we're done with this beer. All right, so Kelly, I need you to apply your lips to that opening. I'll guide you through it.
So this was another weird kind of sinister element to this interview too. Her husband lurking in the background of everything. It sounds like he lays hands on Kelly here. It sounds like they don't have a fantastic relationship at home. Yeah, right here, she's terrified that he's gonna smell her breath. And then you'll see in a second how poorly she reacts when I look like I'm gonna reach over and take her phone and talk to her husband.
You drink a couple swallows, I'll give you that. It's insufficient. It's okay. You don't drink Budweiser?
Okay, we'll get back to that part later.
Did you have a problem in the past with alcohol?
I don't drink at all.
Because you had a problem in the past?
No, I don't like.
When did you start drinking?
I don't like alcohol.
So this is kind of interesting too. We were in North Hollywood. We were up in the valley of Los Angeles. It's kind of a poor area. A lot of these people, it was a huge mix of races and backgrounds and ages. But a lot of these people didn't speak English very well, which also kind of made it a lesser video in my opinion, because you couldn't have real conversations. It was basically just me, it was me addressing somebody and them kind of looking at me with glazed over eyes. It wasn't really an argument about, hey, drink this beer. No, I can't. I think you should. No, I have to get home. I really want you to drink this. Okay, maybe half a beer.
Liquor stores is shotguns. Do you want one? It's my birthday. We're giving them to you.
This guy was pretty awesome. This guy said he drinks. I wonder what this guy drinks in his home life when it's not being forced on him. He's Asian and he looks like an older gentleman. I wonder, I mean, he could be in his 60s, he could be in his 90s. He's hard to age that man. This guy was funny.
Cancer.
That's a pretty serious.
That's one of the better parts of the video right there.
You know what shotgunning beer?
These guys were awesome.
It's like we're in fucking college right now, man.
What else can we have after this?
We got the wild turkey in his back pocket. It's gonna end your workday a little early, I think. This is like an electronic key. I'm just getting this thing soaked in beer. Throwing over the fence for this dog. Oh man. He'll stop barking in a couple hours. your guys' car you're working on?
Yeah, we got these two guys, and then the other mechanic that you're about to see. No resistance at all about drinking on the job.
Can I piss in the gas tank? All right, man. Your turn.
Here we go.
We're drinking. We don't want the bosses to see. You crack it, and then you drink through the hole. It goes faster. Don't worry about that. What's your name?
I don't know if there's any other profession where you'd see such just universal compliance. The medical profession, dental, law. I find it hard to believe that we could find any other profession that would take to these Budweisers as quickly as the mechanics did.
And you gotta stomp on it. You gotta crush it. It's like a victory dance. Nice. You show that beer. Dude, I gotta go reload. I got 3 more.
So we go back up.
Kelly, she was right there.
I don't know.
Did she not work here? Was she not part of this garage
Here
sale?
we go. Little twist. Kelly wasn't part of the garage sale.
Oh, yeah, that's her.
And here we go. Here's the fear in Kelly's eyes when the whole husband thing comes
You
up.
had any part of this garage sale. Is there any truth to that? You were sitting down on that chair? I don't like their attitude, though. They didn't want to drink my beer. They didn't seem like they like you on the chair. Is that your husband?
Look at the fear in her eyes.
No, Kelly, let me talk to him. I'm really good with husbands.
What's the point in being married if that's how you react when he calls in?
Sort everything out. Somebody's got a shotgun this beer right now, and it's sure as fuck isn't gonna be me. Trader Joe's? Yep. It's gonna make your shift.
Yeah, you can see some of these interactions are just a couple sentences long, and they actually went on for much longer, and just not much interesting happened. I didn't feel great this day. I didn't feel very funny or loose. I was able to mold it into a really funny video just by cutting out the boring stuff, but one of the things I really want to work on is being better live. And so if a camera crew were following me around and the video was 2 hours instead of 15 minutes, it would be a funny 2 hours instead of little bits of comedy scattered about this long thing.
The aisle right now with me? I'm good, honestly. I'm not taking no for an answer. You guys were on the beer aisle getting a red cups, dude. I'm pretty bad though. No worries. I fucking suck too. I'm a disgrace. Ignore that. They have mops.
Here we go. These guys, UCLA frat guys here, and they were gigantic pussies. They were going to a football game, the USC-UCLA game, which is the highlight of their social calendar for the entire fall. And I had to basically beg them to drink a beer with me in the aisle. It was a disgrace. People were pussies at my alma mater. That's where I went, by the way. I'm just assuming you knew that.
You better not be setting me up. This guy better not be like an ex-Marine who's never had a drop in his life.
So they tell me to go look for the guy with glasses up at the front to drink. He doesn't want anything to do with it. I think now in retrospect, those two other people just hated that guy with the glasses and they wanted me to go fuck with him. I think that's why they sent me up there saying he would drink the beer. Workplace drama.
Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna give me your name tag. I'm gonna throw
This kid was awesome. I liked him a lot. I was glad he was 21 so I could put the pressure on him to drink.
a shotgun the beer.
Just the least imposing security guard you could ever hire.
I agree with what you're saying.
He's just so polite and so willing to hear me out. I just put my arm around his shoulder and drug him over to here. I should have just kept him, like, dragging him around the building and taking him into the back.
Emailing you, tweeting you, offering you jobs. I say we make you a part of my crew.
No, I can't do it.
Do you want to start doing YouTube?
No, man, I can't.
All right, Anthony. It's okay, man. I appreciate it.
Start doing YouTube. He shakes my head at the end. He was a good guy.
Yeah, sure. Give me a tour. You got a bathroom. You got this thing.
This is good footage, getting behind the counter. See, she spoke almost zero English. It was... I was trying to interview her about her husband. Her husband had left America and had went back to Cambodia. It sounded like a divorce situation, but she just didn't speak enough English to make it interesting. This is one of the best bits of the whole video, though. This was the only one that I could remember right after filming that I knew was going to be gold. Me serving this guy a beer from behind the counter in a donut shop. Here he is. I don't know who this guy is. I think he's just a vagrant alcoholic, and he was happy to get this beer.
All in one. All. There you go. On camera. Party. Yep. Keep going back. Keep going back. Yes, that's what we're talking about. That's what where I was impressed.
It just was completely empty.
How's it going, babe?
Not even a bubble of foam.
How are you? Is that your husband over there? Who's that?
This lady may or may not have been retarded.
Polyamorous relationship by any chance?
Yes.
You want to make out?
For
There was a lady in one of the other cars who would kind of seem to be her aide or something and shoot us away at the end of the interview, which I didn't understand because this lady here was the one who called us over to talk to her.
Jesus, do you?
And she had a thin layer of slobber over her lip that might have indicated mental handicap.
I have diabetes. That's it.
Oh, that's not contagious, is it? Zach, is diabetes contagious?
It was a funny interaction, though. I didn't have the heart to take it out,
Your card on you? God damn it, dude.
which I don't know. I feel like most people, when they realized one of the interview subjects was retarded, they would take it out. But I don't know.
Conversation.
Comedy's comedy.
Thing to do. Do you have any alcohol, any beer?
No. We might have some alcohol.
This is a good bit. Going door to door here, knocking on this dude's, or ringing this dude's doorbell, demanding booze. He had some and he wouldn't fork it over. It was,
I'll be honest with you, fella.
I wasn't happy.
I have half a mind to shoplift right now. We obviously wouldn't put it on camera, but you want to stand over here while I go lift a bottle?
And this was so,
What do you think about that?
the timing here was so perfect that I thought people were going to assume it was fake. Me talking about going into Rite Aid and stealing a bottle, which I was prepared to do at that moment too. You get into a mindset where something like that doesn't seem too crazy. I mean, the hop behind counters to go ring doorbells and ask for booze, you have to be in a kind of a fight or flight, heightened wartime mindset. And I was fully prepared to stroll in there and grab a bottle of Old Crow and walk out the front door. But then this kid, who's just a fan of my videos, who happened to be passing by, recognized me when I was just completing my sentence about going in and stealing something. It was perfect timing. It was as if it were scripted and we had staged this.
Moment. We were at the bottom of the pit. This is meant to be, man.
Yeah, Marco, he's a good man.
Crack of buddies. I promise I won't. It'd be funny if we drove his car around the block just to freak him out. Dude, what the
We should have, he left the keys in the car and trusted us. We should have hopped in the front and pulled it around back just to scare him and make him think we stole it.
Everything's meant to be. You're the man, Marco. Hey, come out filming sometime. Hey, you want to drink a beer today? They pump
This
it.
guy, just some local alky down to party.
Nice, Jimmy. Think you got two?
No, I'm good.
Let's see if we get one more in you.
No, I'm good.
It's not cool if we drink by the air and water thing, though.
This guy comes, asks us to vacate the premises. Can't be drinking by the air and water pump.
It's in the bag, ready to go to war. You drink beer? You want to chug one?
See, we thought this was a car wash where there were employees wiping down customer cars. It turns out this was all self-service. So I was making some jokes about the customer cars and the customers beating off in the car. Turns out it was his. And yeah, he just had a bunch of napkins up on the dashboard, which I'm positive he used for masturbating into. Little Jehovah's Witness church action here. We went and interviewed them a little bit too. They were strange people. I looked into Jehovah's Witnessing. Oh, I gotta pause this real quick. I'm sorry. Yeah, I looked into the Jehovah's Witnessing. It's a very intense religion. They don't practice Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, no holidays. They don't associate with people outside the religion. It looks like no fun. It's a culty. It's Mormonism, Scientology-esque. So this is the interaction I was talking about where my cameraman was trying to pull me off, was trying to get me out of there, was interrupting me, was just freaking out. This is DARE is some kind of anti-drug and abuse organization, I don't know. But I thought it'd be a funny bit to go over and force my Budweiser on the guy behind the booth.
Can you drink alcohol if you're a part of DARE? Can you drink beer?
Some other guy getting the scoop, and he was just a random guy interested in the booth.
You got pockets, so you just pack it away for later.
This is the manager of the CVS. We went in there, half-heartedly did a little drinking.
Okay, no problem, man.
But I get bored and go right back out to the DARE guy.
If you don't want it, man, just tell me you don't want it.
See, this comedy right here where I come out and I'm just like, if you don't want it, just say you don't want it. That's Ollie G inspired. I know Ollie G, in one of his bits, he goes shopping a screenplay, or I think it's a TV show. He goes shopping a TV show in Hollywood, and it's horrible. It's a ripoff of James Bond, and he has the tape, and it's completely low budget, shot on a hand camera, and he just bangs some girl against a tree. And the agent, or the talent guy, or the producer, or whatever, is just disgusted by what he sees, refuses to sign Ollie G or take the tape, and Ollie G just keeps pressing him until the guy loses his shit. I think that's a funny dynamic in this kind of street comedy. When people want nothing to do with me and they want me to leave, just to keep pressing them as if I'm confused if they want me to be there or not. And I tried to use that on DARE, man, too. I thought it was funny. My cameraman didn't think it was funny at all. And then here, we had 2 more beers to get rid of, so we went right back to the mechanic's place. We knew they'd be eager takers. Here's Jose, a good man. See, I thought Mexicans, they were very Christian and would be a little shy about homosexuality and all that, but you can see he's just staring straight at my penis here.
Mechanic?
No qualms about that. No qualms about standing next to me while I pee on the wall.
Are you of age? Oh, I'm of age. You look young. I guess the walking regimen's paying off. It is.
See, this guy was awesome. I saw some mixed reviews about him in my comment section for this video, but again, he spoke English clearly. He was super educated, just in a poorer neighborhood for some reason. And Yeah, he had this weird thing going on where he wouldn't tell me his name, wouldn't tell me where he went to school, but he would tell me about putting his finger in girls' asses, about hurting animals, about doing anal, about having sex with his roommate in the room, passed out. So that was what made this work comedically, and what let me put it in the end. It's the anchor.
I already told him where I live. You have a girlfriend? All right, I'm not telling you anything.
He was so happy and so smart and so naive. It was.
No. Have you ever inflicted a harm upon an animal?
I once squashed a June bug with my bike tire.
You gotta drink away the pain.
I'm not gonna drink away. It was cold.
Dude, I don't fuck around, man.
I don't know if that was a joke. That was a funny joke if he just made that up, the squashing a June bug part. Or something tells me that actually might have been true, though. It was like a traumatizing experience in his childhood.
In college, it happened one time.
Was he passed out or conscious?
He was asleep.
On his face? No, I've been rude, right?
Yeah.
Would've been funny though. Man to man, I need you to drink this beer.
I won't do it. I rightfully decline.
I rightfully declined.
California or back east?
The Midwest, believe it or not.
University of Chicago?
Yes. It's time for me to listen.
He admitted after that he actually did go to University of Chicago, which is a top 5 school in the world, probably. You basically have to be a genius to get in there. It's insanely selective.
A lot of people, I think that
Did you do it though?
no.
Did you ever slip a finger in a girl's ass?
Yes.
Nice. Why?
I don't know. I thought it was like a thing when I was younger that you're supposed to.
You were just blacked out and just feeling around down there.
I guess so. Nobody wants to drink that. Bug.
He had a little gay vibe to him. I asked him at one point, point blank, if he was a homosexual, and he said no.
Yeah. Does it taste like?
I'll drink
It's hard. It's hard. You can't tell sometimes if it's a nerdy lisp or a gay lisp. I guess in his case, it was a nerdy lisp.
insulting.
I believe him when he said he fucked a girl in the room next to his roommate and stuck a finger up his girl's ass. He didn't seem like he was lying.
Deal.
Here we go. The little sip.
That wasn't a very compelling ad for Budweiser.
It's terrible.
I'm glad he did that to give us some closure. It would have been bullshit if he didn't drink any.
You're a real conservationist.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Yeah, well, nice. Nice. Worried about the cap and you forgot about the gum. Now somebody's gonna step on that, a seagull's gonna choke on it.
Let's put it in the bottle.
Okay, there we go. Now the bottle's my responsibility though.
It is.
Hey you motherfuckers.
My little thank you to the patrons. Here we go. Bam. Bijan, Mark, Michael, Dakota, Nikolai. Still haven't spoken to Nikolai on the phone. Got to make that happen. Cody, Howie, Griffin, and then of course all my filthy first mates too. Thank you guys so fucking much. Yeah, so that video, I was not entirely satisfied with it. I thought the weeks before, the punishing a fan was about twice the video. I thought it was twice as good, but it got more dislikes, less views. People were genuinely offended by it. People told me they were unsubscribing because of it. Fucking pussies. That video is classic, punishing a fan. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I think that one is really good. But yeah, after the Thanksgiving video, guys, which I think is going to be awesome, I want to get really into some scripted videos. Not sketches, but I want more writing. Kind of like that roasting Instagram girls video. I want to go more into that. Some I guess higher comedies, some scenarios, like an angle, instead of just drinking and going out and passing things out and trying to make people do stupid stuff. So that's what I'm going to work on in December. We have one smoking cigarettes on campus that I have some really good jokes written for. I think we're going to go get that this week. I have a video called The Piss Cycle, which is going to blow people's minds. It involves me drinking a lot of piss, and I'm never going to be able to get laid once I put it up on YouTube. It's going to be worth it, though. And then I also have a really experimental concept that I don't want to talk too much about because I'm still working it out in my head. I'm going to shoot that at home in December over Christmas. So yeah, guys, thanks again. I can't thank you enough, my patrons. Let me know what you want to see as far as weekly videos on here. I'm really open to anything. I'm just trying to work this out and give you guys some extra value. But just comment below. I'm going to get back to everything on here, guys. Thank you so much. See you next week on YouTube and then a couple days after on here. Goodbye. I'm going to sleep off my hangover. Love you guys.